Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Jumpcast. I am your host today, Max, and I'm, of course, joined by my other host, Nick.
Hello, good morning.
And sadly, we're still missing Max, but he will hopefully be back soon. So, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. What is it? We're just gonna jump straight into this.
Yeah.
We're covering chapter 62 of Kagurabachi, named Iori. I think that's how it was. The summary for today is that so if we remember last chapter with Chihiro and the what was the name of them? Um, Masumi. Um, they were talking about what plans they're gonna do. One of the things is that Samura has a kid, and then they're probably like, they're probably gonna target Samura's kid because that's the only way to like get a leg up on him because he's kind of controlling the whole situation. So we see just a regular old school day for Iori Samura, although she doesn't have that same last name. Um, just showing her waking up, going to school, saying everything's normal except for that person that killed multiple people at the Kabuki performance, tying back to chapter 52, actually 10 chapters ago. Um, and then showing her day-to-day life, everything was fine, but then just like 3 days uh, earlier, there's just some big old eyes in the sky. It's interesting that this is actually affecting everyone. I thought that was very much like a stylistic thing, just to have the owl eyes up there as if Samuro was sensing everybody. But um, it's everyone can see it. And so then they're talking in class. They're, the teacher is saying to Iori's class that the government or the Kaminabi said it's no longer dangerous. They can resume classes. One of the kids is like, conspiracy theories, like, no, where the world's gonna be over, everything's gonna screw up. Like you see the scar, like he drew something on his face with Sharpie. But it kind of leads into Yori's actual issues where every night she keeps on having the same dream for about 3 days, the same time as like the owl eyes have been up in the sky, trying to figure out what that has been. The kid then plays into it more like it can be insomnia or stress, something bothering you. And then she's like, "What if these eyes are for me?" And then they're just like, I think you're freaking out a bit. Let's go do something fun after school to get your mind off of it." Iori then looks to her left, out the window, and we see the member of the. Why can I not remember the enemy game?
Shaku?
Ishaku, yeah, Hishaku, that's what it is. Um, that same dude with like the techwear stuff. Just kind of it looked. Uh, I don't know if he like stabbed the dude or just like bitch slapped him, but he fell to the ground and then they jump into the classroom that Iori's in. He asks like what class year is this? Like second years. Let's go. Him and then his companion are like let's look for where's the girl? I'm looking for Samura, and then like the girl's like, why are you asking that? That is pointless. They come down to the conclusion that it looks like the girl that is a part of the Hishaku is just like, hey, if I taste blood, I can differentiate it between people. So I've tasted Samura's blood, so whoever has blood similar to him will be the girl. They also set up some rules that while they're like taking everyone hostage, they can kill boys, but they can't kill girls. So then one of them tries to that same boy with the marker, or maybe not actually. I think it's a different kid. Stands up and just like, but no. And so then right before he gets slashed by the technoware dude, Yori steps in. Um, And so then after that, it's just like let's taste her blood first. Let's see what this is about because if she's not Samura's daughter, then we can kill her. Then the Masumi come in along with Chihiro uh, to basically stop the situation. Chihiro's fighting the Technoware dude, and uh, the kid. I don't remember his name, but the one that acts like Samura, um, basically takes the girl and just like what is explained is that there's a seal on her memories that is being slowly broken by Samura's daughter. Um, he says, Mr. Samura, don't underestimate young people. And he's him and the Masumi are now gonna take care of her for the time being and protect her. Um, so yeah,
Yippee!
that's yippee. Um,
Yeah.
what did you think of this chapter?
Um, I thought it was very nice and very good. I personally really liked kind of for like that little bit we got to see what like a quote unquote normal person thinks, and like I mean we talked about briefly before we started recording, but like I don't know if it's them mistaking Chihiro for the blonde haired dude, but like people think he's a terrorist right now, or the maybe
Mm-hmm.
like we talked about the Shaku have control of the media, um, and so they're portraying Chihiro as a bad guy. So it'd be really, I mean, I think we mentioned it last week, but it'd be really interesting to see if like Iori's perception of Chihiro is gonna be like that. Like she might trust the members of the Ninja Clan, but Chihiro, she's like, I saw this dude kill a bunch of people on TV. I don't know how I feel about him.
Well, this guy's a little iffy.
And he's like, I'm not bad. I'm not a bad guy. Mm-mm.
Mm.
And he's just kind of having to prove himself.
Misconception, lady.
Yeah, he's like, they're controlling the media,
It's
and their perception of me
what they
isn't
want you to
right.
think.
It's what they want you to think. But yeah, I love to see in like manga and stuff, kind of this what is it? This outside perspective of like a quote unquote normal person. Um, Also, Nick, I don't know about you, but the conspiracy theory dude, at the beginning of the chapter, I was like, I don't know why. It could be just because I've been watching slash reading it recently, but I thought it was Okura-kun from Don. I was like, oh my god,
Oh, like a little reference
it's a
to
little
it.
reference to him. But yeah,
I can see that. I guess maybe it's a bit more common to see people that are
maybe
a bit more like
yeah, I
conspiracy
was gonna say
theorists,
maybe Japan is like
especially at
full
that
of
young age.
conspiracy theorists. Yeah,
Yeah. Um, but yeah. This chapter is very fun. Very much um what's the name of this author? I can't even remember off the top of my head.
um,
Um,
Takaru Hug
Hakazona.
Hugzona. Yeah,
He always twists what the hell I think the next chapter is going to be. As we like talked about before, like training arcs, something like that. No, just jump straight into it. Let's
yeah.
get right next to the next plot point, which is fun. I think it's very interesting to see her uh, uh, life and like her thought process and like her memories being locked of her father. Um, with all of this being set up, I could be very wrong on this, but this definitely could look like a setup to having Iori actually be another sorcerer um, to join Chihiro
Yeah.
uh, and Hakari. Um, because initially, I thought it was going to be the Dragon Bone, but like, of course, there's always like uh, the typical shonen trio, which is
Mhm.
like two boys, one girl. And I thought it was going to be set up like that with the person that had Dragon Bone. Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. It could be wrong, but just with the fact that they're talking about how she's subconsciously um, trying to break the seal. She doesn't even know how to control sorcery. Shit, like at least we've never been shown that she's been trained on how to do sorcery, which people should know what it is, but just her being like, I'm breaking the seal in
It's
memory of my father in my sleep, and like, damn, it like totally could set it up for like another hype moment, like with Pakuri, how it's just like there's the because his clan like only you could do ESO or you could access the vault. You could never do both, and then he's
boom.
like,
He
I'm the
has
next
both.
one that can do it, brother. So I could definitely see her having some sort of skills that are like very impressive.
I'd love for it to be like something I don't know how it would work with sorcery, but something with like memory would be really cool.
Hmm.
Like more. I don't want to just make like Chihiro the only like fighter in the group, but like if she was more like her sorcery is more like utility focused or something. Um,
Yeah.
but
I mean, Curry can fight. It's just that his brain ain't working the best right now. But like,
he's a little
because
vegetable.
because he could do the ESO.
Yeah, it's
Um,
true.
but I could definitely see her being utility. I'm trying to think of what it could be, but the thing is that with the sword contracts, they're different bits of sorcery than the person's innate sorcery. Um, so it could be like anything else, excuse me. Um, it would be fun if it was utility though, but
But yeah,
we got a lot.
I don't know about you. I'm also very excited to see Chihiro fight without an enchanted blade and just 1v1 someone where they're just using regular swords. Cuz like I don't want to say like every enchanted blade user like it's a crutch, but that they have an enchanted blade, but it'd be really interesting to see their just base swordsmanship. Just outright without using their powers, where they're going to be at. Um
I guess you just reminded me that like even if he's holding N10 that he's not using it because I forgot about the whole like owl thing.
Yeah, because it's that's the Suba, the guard of N10, and I'm like, but yeah,
I think well like he could just like not use the spiritual energy from it. Um it could be how the rest of this is going to be set up is that they're fighting with regular swords. And then like because the Technoware dude, he was been instructed like don't pull out the sword unless certain requirements are met, I'm assuming. So then like at a certain point in the fight when he's like really like, oh, I'm in a bad spot right now, he's just gonna be like, all right, enchanted blade time, and then Samara will show up too, and that will also cause a lot of confusion. But
yeah, and that'll
I'm
be my theory is that that could be their escape. That could be Chihiro and everyone's opening to leave.
yeah, especially because if they have Iori, then they can like use that as a bargaining chip.
Yeah, and because like I mean maybe also Samura is helping. I mean I think we talked about it. Like he's not like we know he hasn't fully betrayed the Kabanabi and Chihiro in his group. It's he's just using his own. He's like the adult has to take on the burden. The kids don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, like his whole like I don't think that he agrees with the Kaminabi at all. But I don't think he's like not purposely pursuing them. He's more just like, you know what, all this enchanted sword business, I'm gonna take care of it myself. Probably just because he thinks he's that guy, and it's probably not gonna work out in his favor, but he decided to do that, so we're just
Mm.
seeing
We're seeing the
how he
fallout.
does that.
Yeah,
Yeah, he like it. We know for sure he does not like the Hishaku. That was the whole deal. Just like,
he doesn't
hey,
like anyone.
I'll help you, brother, but you got to tell me all your information. Give me your IP address. I know where you are.
um, but yeah, no, it's I'm very excited for another like sword on sword fight in the series because I think the way I mean it could just be because of how the enchanted blades are drawn, but I'm very excited to see because I love his art style in the middle fights. The author does a great job with it, um, and I'm excited to
Hmm.
see how he's gonna make. I should say unique, but how he's going to add flair to like just two dudes hitting each other with swords. Um,
Yeah,
because it's gonna look badass, you know.
sure. I'm sure it's gonna be very, very good. That'll also be interesting to see just not having a bunch of abilities fly out everywhere. Like you could definitely take this time to have a lot more of like a conversation in the fight.
Yeah,
Um,
more than just like that kind of
don't
internal dialogue.
Yeah, I don't know if that will happen just because these Chihiro and the Techwear dude seem like very opposite people that really can't get to the end of anything.
Mm.
Like
It's
if
gonna
I
be
saw
hard
them
for them
like
to
have a
find.
conversation, like neither of them like he like Chihiro's gonna be like, "Hey, why are you working for the Hishaku?" And then he's gonna be like, "My unrequited love for my sword." And Chihiro will be like, "Okay,
What the
dude.
fuck? Like,
Never mind. Never mind.
it's
Why
it
bother? Why bother?"
it'd be yeah. It seems like they're not gonna be able to find any common ground, but if they do find some, it could be very interesting to see. Um, and I'd
Hmm.
really like to see. I mean, it seems like this author does not want to do training arcs, which is fine. But I'd love
Hmm.
to see if there was some sort of like the ninja clan's like, okay, Chiro, we're gonna teach you how to fight without your sword and without sorcery and how to work with us. It'd be really cool to see like instead of just like telling us or having a flashback, show us in the fight how Chihiro has grown and how he's able to adapt to like a new surrounding. Um,
That would be a good way to show that. Now that you
like
said that, it definitely like some flashbacky stuff, like while he's mid-fight, it's just like this is how you do this to stay undetected.
Yeah, like how like his movement's different. It's like something he does. Like maybe Samura was like, "Hey, I noticed if you fight your hero, he's got this crazy flaw that he always has this
Hmm.
opening." And maybe the Ninja Clan noticed that during training, and they showed him how to um, like counteract that, like how to
Hmm.
close that opening.
Get rid of some of those weaknesses that he does have.
And I think for like Chihiro's personality, like instead of being like, oh, he like blocks an attack he never was able to. He's like, oh, I did it. I think just like that showing and tell that showing don't tell is he blocks it and he moves on. And maybe it could be more of a telling thing, but like maybe one of the Ninja Clan people's watching, they're like, oh, he actually learned he's actually doing what we taught him. Wow, he's not
Hmm.
just some stubborn kid.
Yeah. It
So
would be fun to see like if this is like one of your weaknesses and then see him uh defend that and then just move on to the next panel. I think
exactly, yeah.
it would be interesting. But we'll just have to see. I guess one thing that I will complain about, I understand that we did have a few chapters without there like being a fight, but it was like two
Yeah,
two chapters. Like I think that there needs to be a bit of breathing space in between like each fight because
it's like you
um
eat something too rich and too much of it.
yeah, that is like the best way to explain it is with food. It's like when you eat like a piece of chocolate and then it's just like, all right, brother, you're gonna have two more pieces of
You're like,
chocolate. And like
no,
I like it
no,
I gotta
please.
adjust for a second. Um that is definitely how it feels with this because like having the time to like sit and breathe and that like I understand we're not doing training arcs, which is you know what, it's fine, it works great. I'm still somewhat excited, but I could have been way more excited to see a fight come up after like a couple more chapters of like downtime, like no conflicts being um coming up. Like they said it was like 3 days
Hmm.
of those owl eyes being up there. That is literally a day to train him that we could have seen. Like
Yeah,
that's like Ichigo learning Bankai time.
exactly. Yeah, is it?
Like
There's something in Dragon Ball too, right? Where like
oh yeah,
they
like
train really
that's like
quickly.
hyperbolic train. Yeah, that one is like you put a whole year in a day,
Okay.
sort of like weird stuff. But like that shows that like we definitely could have had a little bit of time to just like sit back for a second. Um, like even just seeing the like a couple more like pages or even panels of the Masumi like starting to cater for Chihiro like we saw him like there like feeding him at the diner but like
Yeah,
it would have been funny if like he wakes up in the morning and they brush his teeth like something like that stuff like just
exactly. Yeah, no, like
that,
just them taking care of him, and he's like, "Can you stop? Like,
yeah
please."
and just
We
like taking the time to establish that this is
like a
how they're working
relationship. Yeah,
together.
like
Yeah,
some like working relationship. So we have more emotional connection to these characters.
exactly.
Like I would even liked like two more chapters about Chihiro, and then like another chapter of just a normal day of Iori. So we're just, or
Yeah.
maybe like a chapter where it's like 3 days of Iori. So we're just guessing like when is it gonna happen? What, like, is she
Yeah.
safe? Like
It could
when, like, so there's more suspense to this guy
yeah.
walking in because like him, like we knew he was coming. And it's still like I think he just did like that like classic like samurai quick draw thing to kill that person. That'd be crazy
Yeah.
because there was like blood. Like if he just bitch slapped that dude and that just killed him outright
It'd
would
be
would
hilarious.
be crazy. But like so there's even more suspense to seeing this dude appear. Um,
Yeah.
and I love that we got an introduction of him, but I think it would have also been kind of cool to not get an introduction. So he's just there.
Yeah.
Um,
That would have also been fun.
like and then maybe like last chapter or whatever we get that scene of him walking up and the chapter ends with, is this second year class, where's Iori, and we're like, what, like how did they find her already, like something like that, and then we get that
Yeah.
flashback of them like him and the chick trying to fight, like they're just them like that scene, that
Yeah.
few I can't think right now, that few pages of them like walking through Kyoto.
Yeah. Like that would have been fun. And I guess one other thing that just kind of makes it frustrating is that like we know that uh Okazono, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, can write these sorts of chapters by the fact of like we had that filler chapter for Sojo's bathhouse where like it was like 13 pages, 12 pages of him just literally chilling in a bathhouse. Like this is a cold-blooded murderer, but you sympathize for him so much when he's just like, there's no strawberry milk. How am
Which,
I
dude,
gonna enjoy my time?
I will admit, when I saw it wasn't like a normal chapter, I was like, oh, come on. But then I read it, I'm like, this is gas.
It was so
This
enjoyable.
was so enjoyable. Like you said, it's a
Yeah.
nice change. I love in like a classic shonen like this when we get those moments of like a slice of life series like coming through.
Hmm.
They're so much fun to read. It's nice to see a genre get like changed for a little bit. Um,
Yeah.
like even I mean we always talk about Jujutsu Kaisen, but like with Jujutsu Kaisen, there's that really good like chapter, like bonus chapter where the second years go and work because they want more like allowance money than what like the Jujutsu High gives them every month. Like
Hmm.
those little chapters, I think add so much to the story.
Yeah.
And also I
But
think that Sojo chapter would not have been the same if it was when he was still alive.
yeah.
I think also that chapter could have been coming out because this guy, like we said, it could be mentored by could have been mentored by Sojo. So he's maybe thinking about like, oh, that's what Sojo would have done, like, or something
Hmm.
like that. I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
It's yeah, just having that room to breathe makes everything so much better. And even with saying that, like we had well, no, chapter 80 or no, why am I saying 80? 59, I think went right back to like Chihiro talking with Samura. Like even if we had this little chapter in between, it would have helped a bit more with just the suspense of just like, all right, when are we gonna be getting back into fighting? Because you need that room to breathe.
Mm-hmm.
But
I mean, yeah, because
I'll
if you get
stop
constant,
complaining.
well, because like I mean, to be fair, if you get constant action, you're gonna get burnt out. The author is gonna get burnt out. I think the audience could get burnt out. It's a serious
Mhm.
thing. And I mean, it's also like a mental and physical thing on the author. I mean, probably like drawing these first few pages wasn't
Mhm.
wasn't the most hard on his hand. You know, he could relax a little bit during the day. Like he's like, I probably have time to
Yeah.
actually go enjoy myself for like a week
To
or
be
two. But
to be fair, it could also be the exact opposite. Just making manga itself is grueling, whatever genre it is. Um, but like I definitely think that like mentally it's a lot easier to like have a bit of slowdown and then ramp up. Um, or it could be the opposite for him as well, that he's just like, if I spend some time slowing down, I don't think that I'm gonna have as much fun with the story. So let's just like knock out these pieces one after the other.
mm-hmm.
That could be a stop process with it, and like I would understand that, but like. just as a reader itself, it's kind of frustrating to like be like, okay, Chihiro fought Samura for 2 seconds. Okay, now he was feeling sick for a chapter. Now he's walking around with the Masumi, and then he's back to fighting again.
Yeah,
It's just like you
it's
sit here and you're just like, brother, like we didn't like the conflict. What is going on with the conflict? Is it going on still or not? Because you said that there were 3 days where they were Jay chilling, nothing was going on, and now we're back to it.
mm, yeah, no, it's nice to see those respites. I think it's just
Yeah,
the whole thing we're getting at.
yeah.
Um, I don't know about you. Do
Um,
you have any theories on this Hishaku chick on her sorcery? Because I was thinking like I'm not going like full. Oh, she's Choso blood manipulation. I would love to see like some Avatar level like blood bending, maybe from her. Like I don't know how powerful that could, how OP that would be in this universe,
the
but
the thing. Oh, sorry. I'll
oh
let
no,
you
I was just
finish.
saying like without like I that's just the what I was like when I was reading. I was like, she's like tasting someone's blood, um, and she's like just the
Um,
way she was talking. I was like, ooh, that like I was just thinking, ooh, it'd be interesting to see.
I th I think with her sorcery, the closest that it could be is uh with the tasting blood, it reminded me of My Hero Academia with
Oh,
Himiko Toga.
yeah.
So I think it has to do something with like tasting blood and then being able to replicate what type of like natural born sorcery they would have had. Just because if it was like full on blood bending, like Samura would not be an issue.
Mm,
Because she said that we have Samura's blood and just like if she could like taste it and then do like the blood bending, like
mm.
he'd be like, uh-oh, arm twisted backwards. But
True. Yeah.
I think it makes sense like if she tasted it and then like she wasn't able to use the sorcery because it's no longer connected to him because of the enchanted blade. But
Yeah.
like say if like that same girl got a taste of Iori's blood and like Iori's a natural born sorcerer, like if she can subconsciously break the seal, like she has a really good sorcery power that is then like used as like a foil against the Masumi. And
Hmm.
just like, haha, brother, you messed up.
Yeah.
So
Because
I
I
think that
think
that could be the case.
I think they're gonna have some way to track her. Because let me pull up the page. There's a page of her. Where are we looking at? Page 11. Iori's like has like some sort of cut. So I'm thinking like if they get away, the Hishaku's gonna still have some way of tracking her. They're gonna find that
Yeah.
blood, and she's like, "Well, I'm just gonna start tasting random blood puddles, because that's sanitary."
Yeah, or like there's blood right next to her desk, and it's just like, oh well,
Yeah,
we
like
are not done yet.
there's a splatter, and like they're interrogating the kids, and the one they're like, "What? Whose blood is this? Where's her desk?"
Hmm.
So, but
But that's that's my bet. If she does do something, I mean, I really don't feel like they're gonna give her a lot of spotlight, though. I feel like it's mainly gonna be the dude.
yeah, which I mean, from the what chapter and a half we've had them, the guy is so much more interesting so far. I mean, I think it's meant
Yeah.
to be like that, but he just he just looks so cool, dude. Like,
Yeah, they put a lot of attention on him.
um,
Um, I think
yeah,
he's gonna be good.
yeah,
Um, but yeah, that's all I really had. I can't think of
yeah.
anything else.
I
We
don't
we
have a
kind of
whole
covered
lot.
everything.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for listening to the Jumpcast. Of course, I have been your host, today, Max, and I've been joined by my other host.
Nick, and I guess the one thing to add on, the next episode will come out a little bit differently because next chapter is in 12 days. So I think, if I'm correct, that's going to be coming out like on a Friday. I think
I think
I'm not
so. That sounds
100%.
about right. Yeah, I think
So
because if it would be
it'll be a
next
little
week,
different.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's gonna be different. Because Japan doesn't really celebrate Christmas as much as we do, but New Year's is huge there. So I'm guaranteed they're having he's ramping up something for New Year's.
yeah,
So also for the future, happy holidays to all our viewers. We hope you guys are able to spend some time with your loved ones and enjoy each other's company.
Yeah, have a good time.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye.